People think you need a fancy portfolio, website, and years of experience to land high-ticket freelance clients, but I didn't have any of that. I signed my first $3,000 email marketing retainer client with a Canva document, and I'm gonna show you exactly how. The truth is, clients don't care about your portfolio as much as you might think. You see, we all have this idea of how we think freelancing looks like. The typical nomad in Bali on a beach, or the perfectly dressed girl in the cafe with a beautiful website and a portfolio stacked with some of the biggest brands you've ever heard of. But freelancing isn't always the Instagram perfect dream. In fact, I'd argue that the most well-paid freelancers have a more messy approach to securing those high-ticket freelancers than you probably imagine. Take me, for example. I don't have a massive Notion dashboard to organize my clients and my life. In fact, I handwrite all of my to-dos in a paper journal every single night for the next morning. I also take most of my calls in PJ pants. In fact, I'm also filming this video in pajama pants as well. And my biggest clients have truthfully come from spur of the moment applications on Upwork or referrals from previous clients just from doing good work. Or, like in the example I'm going to share with you in a moment, my first $3,000 retainer client came from pure creativity and professionalism because I didn't really have much to show for. So yes, it's messy, but messy doesn't mean unprofessional or low paid. The key point I'm trying to make here is that if you're focused on looking the part more than actually doing the work, which doesn't always look the part, you'll never get where you want to as a high-ticket freelancer. Taking messy action always trumps perfection. So any sort of distorted idea you have about what you need to be in order to actually secure clients, take that out of your head. Of course, you need a good baseline to start off at, but the only way you'll even get to that baseline is to take action and invest in your skills and learning, which is exactly why you should take action by subscribing to my channel. And if you're enjoying this video so far, give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you're liking the content. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I started freelancing by doing website copywriting, which at the time was fun, and I was actually getting to work with really amazing clients, but I had to start every month at zero and continuously find new people that needed their whole entire website done. Also, working with founders in the early stage who are often bootstrapped and don't have necessarily enough money to pay you for quality copywriting in the beginning stages of their business wasn't the best situation. So I decided that I would take my copy skills and brush up on some design and theory and go into the world of email marketing. But at this point, I hadn't actually written email copy for brands. I knew what it should look like in theory in terms of a good subject line, A/B testing, all the things, because I was keeping up on social media with people who were doing that and in that field, but I hadn't actually done it before. I didn't have any case studies, but I knew I had ties. I was a great direct response copywriter, and I had done copywriting with e-commerce brands in the past. And even if I didn't have that copywriting experience, which at the time was still fairly small, I would have used, which I still incorporated in some of the language while talking to this client, my journalism background from uni, which I didn't have amazing journalism experience per se, but I did spend 4 years doing journalism and had a little stint for a few months after university. So my ability to write succinctly and storytell was a powerful positioning for me as someone who wanted to get into this email marketing realm. So I decided to do some mock projects. There's a website called Thing Testing that I came across where you're able to write reviews on brands that have recently launched or about to launch, something along those lines. But the reason I thought it was interesting as someone in this direct response marketing world was that I was able to keep tabs on what the culture was saying in terms of e-commerce, the sort of copy people were using, and find brands who were at the stage where they were being found and people were talking about them. The best stage for you to come in as a freelancer. They're likely looking for freelancers to help them scale. So in the beginning, I would use this as inspiration. I would actually take some of the websites that I saw on there and make TikTok videos about them in terms of what I think about their copy. So that was cool. But I also used it to create mock-ups. So I would take a random brand that I thought was interesting and a brand that I would love to do the work for. So if an adjacent brand came around, it was relevant to them. I would then create the email copy on a Google Doc and then go on Canva, take one of the standard email marketing templates that I thought fit and just paste it in. So visually, my copy would come to life. And then when I would go to clients, I would be honest with them and let them know, hey, graphic design is not my skill. That's not something I'm good at, but I know how to do the basics using Canva. I put in some copy here. Here's an example of the work that I could do for insert brand name. But actually, before I got really resourceful and started doing these mock-up designs on Canva, I was just writing email marketing copy on a Google Doc. And I was actually getting responses. The cold messages might have responded, gave me feedback, or told me they didn't need me at the moment. But oftentimes the Upwork responses turned into one-off projects where I would do an email marketing, get to write a couple emails for a brand at an agency or a brand that just needed a welcome sequence or something of the sort. Those steps allowed me to then put my reps in. And over time, I accumulated a Google Drive of email marketing copy and mock-up designs. I realized from especially the experience just putting the copy on a Google Doc that clients don't care about a fancy design. What they care about is proof that you can solve their problem. We need good, fun copy that follows direct response principles. And if I could show them in an organized way that I could do that, they were happy to have me on. Show you can solve your problem, show that you're a thinker. So even if you don't have experience, that you have ideas on what you could do or what could work, and show that you're organized. Most freelancers miss out on opportunities or get opportunities and lose them just simply because they're not organized when it comes to deadlines, being speedy and efficient, and ensuring everything is in the right place and effortless for both them and their client. So to be clear, I spent weeks on this thing testing website, coming up with creative copy ideas. I even did one for Olipop back when they weren't as big. Fortunately, they didn't respond to my email, but I was able to add it to my Google Doc portfolio, which really stood out to potential clients that I was messaging on Upwork or via cold email. Eventually, one client took the bite. It was an e-commerce hair brand, and I sent her my Calendly link to get on a call. Prior to the call, I decided to make a Canva proposal document to again show that I can solve their problem, show that I'm thinking, and show that I'm organized. I wanted to go above and beyond rather than just getting on a call and hoping that she would just give me money. I created this Canva document showing what I think could be improved in their email marketing, even though it wasn't necessarily something that we had discussed, just from my observation and the knowledge that I had. And I showed how I would solve it and then created 3 packages that anchor one another that fit exactly what the client was looking for based on our back and forth via messaging. I spent the first half of the call going through the problem and my solution. She really liked the proposal I had and agreed she was interested in working with me. So then I shared my price, packaging, proposals, and she ended up choosing the higher ticket package, which I was honestly afraid to put, for $3,000 USD, doing 4 emails a month and kind of list management and segmentation. I cannot explain to you how freaking excited I was when I came off that call. I felt like all my hard work had finally paid off and it was real. I could do this. I can sign clients on retainer that actually needed the skills that I have, the skills that I enjoy doing, and all without never taking, let's say, an email marketing course or going to school for marketing. I learned it all myself. And I am not here to gatekeep. So something extremely interesting about this client is that she actually searched me up on social media alongside looking at my outreach, where she came across a YouTube video of me talking about UGC, which at the time probably had around 50 to 100 views, because she was also interested in doing UGC for her e-commerce brand, which just goes to show that your content doesn't have to be the best in the world. It doesn't have to be completely amazing, but it allowed her to connect with me and see that I was skilled and knowledgeable within marketing as a whole, and made her more intrigued and interested in potentially working with me for email marketing, even though I had no real case studies or years of experience to show her in this field. And the best part about living in today's world is that you can start conversations with clients without actually starting conversations with them. You can post content, and through that, they feel like they're having a conversation with you or getting getting to know you. So this really, really helped. And I don't want to hear any buts because it was an extremely low quality, low view video. You don't have to have a million followers. You don't have to have the most perfect setup. You can film with an iPhone and a cheap Amazon mic or no mic at all. It really doesn't matter. As long as when you're reaching out to clients or connecting with clients, they can search you up and see that you have a professional social media platform, even if it's just LinkedIn that has a good banner and name and description, and it shows that you have connections and you're a real person, it will set you miles apart from other freelancers out there. Really, at the end of the day, I hope what I've put across to you is that you can show that you have confidence by being resourceful and creative. Just because a client says they want someone to work with them full time or they want someone with X amount of years experience or XYZ doesn't mean that you have to perfectly fit that description. In fact, in the freelance world, all of those are just buzzwords. I can't tell you how many times now that I've applied to gigs on Upwork that said, we need a full-time person and we need this and that. But in reality, they're happy to work with me because I show that I can solve their problem, I show that I'm thinking, and I show them that I'm organized. Promise you, the bar in this freelance world is below what you could possibly imagine. So if you're just a little bit better than the average freelancer, you will really set yourself apart. Proof of all of the above beats perfection every single time. You just need one yes, and you can get that yes with some consistency and showing your professionalism.